Your immune system is a really vicious killer. It can kill a wide variety of different diseases and infections. But the one disease that it always has a trouble with is cancer. And that's why scientists have started looking into immunotherapy treatments, reprogramming your immune cells to fight cancer. Your immune system has a really hard time finding cancer cells. And at the same time, cancer is just really good at hiding from your immune system. It's like going into a dark room and trying to tell the difference between a really cute and small puppy and a big vicious rat that you wouldn't want to touch. That's the problem that your immune cells have to face. They can't tell the difference between the healthy cells and the cancer cells, so they can't attack them. Immunotherapy involves bridging that gap and finding ways to let your immune system identify the cancer cells. Now, we've known about immunotherapy for a while now, but only in the past 10 years or so have we started seeing practical medical applications in the field. These come in the form of something known as CAR T-cell therapy, and in 2018, we saw two large companies produce different drugs that utilize the same function of CAR T-cell therapy. The first company is Novartis, the second is Gilead Sciences. Now, CAR T stands for Chimeric Antigen Receptor T-cell therapy. And chimeric antigen receptors are these receptors that are edited onto white blood cells to help them identify cancers. The first step is extracting white blood cells from the patient themselves, because if you use any external white blood cells, they can induce a whole other immune reaction that you're going to have to deal with. And to do that, you need a process called leukapheresis. Now, what this is you attach two tubes to the patient's two arms, and they're connected by a machine in the middle. Through the first tube, you have your blood being extracted, and that blood goes into the machine, where it separates it into its different components. So one of the components is the red blood cells, the other component is the white blood cells, and the last component would be your platelets that help heal wounds. And scientists want to extract the white blood cells. So once they're separated, scientists extract these cells and pump the rest of the blood back into your body. At the same time, scientists sequence the cancer cell because they're trying to look for these biomarkers, things that tell your immune system that this is a cancer cell. So almost like flags on the surface of cancer cells that would tell the immune system, hey, come here, kill me. After this is all done, it's shipped to a lab where doctors can start designing the treatment. Using that cancer cell DNA, doctors can basically design receptors that bind to biomarkers found on the outside of the cancer cell. These receptors are sort of like little flags on the cancer cell that can tell the immune system that this is a cancer. When they find a gene for a biomarker, scientists can essentially create a complementary receptor that's inserted into the immune cell. This is done through different forms of genetic editing like CRISPR-Cas9, which is becoming more prevalent now, or things like viral vectors that can also deliver the intended gene. When this is done, it takes a while for the gene to take effect, but then you eventually start seeing these receptors pop up on your immune cells. Scientists then let these immune cells grow in petri dishes and in controlled environments, and after that they ship them back to the hospital where the treatments can start. By injecting these cells back into the patient's bloodstream, the immune cells can now start flowing around, trying to identify any cancer cells flowing throughout the blood, binding the receptors together, and killing these cells. This is essentially a live drug because you're genetically editing these live organisms within your body to do something that helps you. It's one of the first examples of genetically editing vaccines that we've seen. But in the future, it promises to be way more prevalent, with things like secondary immune systems that can stop all infections and disease before they even have any symptoms. It's a really huge step towards a healthcare system that's more proactive in preventing disease before they occur than reactive.